going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Sunday stock watch list from Stock Hours. We'll get straight into it. So there's a couple big earnings that we need to pay attention to. You will see that we have the SAP, Boeing, Tesla, and American Airlines. Those are probably the ones I'm mainly watching. Here are the market expectations or the implied move on those earning plays. You'll see SAP has a projected move of about 8%. That's what the option market has priced in. PCAR, also a big one. Tesla obviously is going to be our main watch, and then UPS and IBM. So those are probably going to be the biggest moves on the earnings place. Moving forward into the watch list itself, we're watching Apple calls. On the left, you'll see the weekly chart. So the key level is about 237.20 or so. We're going to be watching that on the 1 hour chart to see that pre-market high respected that level pretty well, and therefore we'll be watching that for a potential breakout. There are no notable trends to pay attention to, so that's going to be the main key level with no trends. Next, we have our Netflix upside play. We have 767 that we're watching. If that does not break overnight, typically Netflix doesn't move overnight aggressively unless it's earnings. So we're watching 767. If that breaks pre-market, then our main watch will be the 770 breakout. Next, we got NVDA. NVDA, we're paying attention to the upside. This has been extremely aggressive in comparison to AMD and SMCI, the other semiconductors. So we're watching 141. It's slightly far, but this is a weekly watch list. So by the end of Friday, if we're able to get to 141, that would be a great setup for us. So there is a trend here that we need to pay attention to. It kind of lines up around that 142, 143, depending on what time that setup actually plays out. But 141 is our main watch, and then 141.60 would be the previous all-time high that we need to pay attention to, see if it forms a resistance there. Next, we have Tesla. Tesla's in a range. We're watching both directions. Towards the upside, 224 is our key level, and then 225 is also another key level. The only thing we need to pay attention to the upside is that trend line in yellow. So depending on what time that setup plays out, we would want to pay attention to where that trend lines up. But mainly watching 224 for a breakout, the safer play would be 225. To the downside, it would be that 214 low. It presents as a gap fill towards the downside all the way down to around 212-ish. And then towards the upside, we also have a gap, but that one's massive. Probably will not fill on the same day. Next, we have AMD puts. The key level we're watching is 155. This is incredibly weak in comparison to NVIDIA and SMCI. So we're watching the downside on this room to about 154 break, give or take. We'll see how it plays out. But this is the 1 hour chart. We're watching downside on AMD. Next, we have Meta. Meta is in a consolidation, but we're mainly interested in the downside, not much of the upside. 585 is an okay level, but we believe we've seen Meta show divergence, slightly weaker than the market. Therefore, we're more interested towards the downside. First key level is going to be 575, and then the next one's going to be 574. We'd rather play this at 575, but we'll see how the market opens, right? If we gap down and 575 breaks, then 574 is all we're left with. Next, we have TSM. TSM showing 200 as a key support level. So if that breaks, this has potential to see the gap. We would probably not target the gap on that 200 break, but it is a decent support break play. The next play is going to be 195-ish. That would be the gap fill. So that would be our main watch. We're probably not going to try to hold through the entire gap. It's unlikely to fill all of it on the same day. And then last but not least is the overall market. So SPY is in a consolidation range and has an uptrend. The key level is going to be 585. So if we cannot break through 585 by Monday or Tuesday, we would expect this to stay within range and potentially see below 582. So we're mainly watching that uptrend to see if we can get a breakdown below, and that would be the confirmation that we're in a sideways channel. If we can break through the upside and hold above 585, then we should continue to see that uptrend form and potentially see new all-time highs. that's it for the Sunday stock watch list. Hopefully that brought light into what we're looking at in stock hours, and we'll see you guys in the next one.